This is what a woman had to say after shooting her own son.
I would like to say something.
Go ahead.
I'm innocent. You all. You're garbage. That's all you're on.
She had gained custody of her son instead of her husband only 10 days prior. She was arrested after police pulled her over for a traffic violation and found the body in the trunk.
Eli will forever be missed by so many people that loved him. He will forever and always be in our hearts.
Police were unsure whether she killed for the life insurance money or because of mental health reasons.
A dying woman says her final goodbye to her parrot of 26 years. The parrot's reply will make you cry. The African gray parrot had been with the woman for 26 years. It provided her with companionship and comfort in times of loneliness. This old woman never married or had children in her life. She considered the parrot to be her child when she felt her life was coming to an end. The old woman looked at the parrot as she lay dying. The parrot sheds tears of sadness. It realized that the old man was dying. As the old woman breathed her last, she said to the parrot, "Let him live on." The parrot was the old man's child. It's the old man's companion. Her life is coming to an end. The old man is worried about this companion who has been with her for 26 years. And yet, she said her last goodbye to her parrot. When she said goodbye, it was the most heartbreaking moment. The big parrot's reaction shocked all the witnesses. The bird sincerely spat out 3 simple words, filling the room with emotion: "I love you." Follow me. Get more interesting stories every day.
You want me to be honest with you? You're going to jail, you don't have a bond, you killed 2 people tonight.
This is Stephanie's reaction to finding out she ended the lives of 2 innocent people while drunk driving, completely oblivious to everything she did until the next morning when this happened.
Did you understand what I told you? You killed 2 people tonight?
Yeah, so I'm just wondering where I can run school.
Okay, good night.
After receiving a call that a woman had hit a pedestrian with her car, they arrived minutes later to check out the scene.
Come over here with me, ma'am, okay?
I called as soon as this shit happened. I was like, this doesn't happen to me.
I understand.
I go to Bradley. Why would this happen to me?
Okay.
Stephanie is referencing her attendance at the Bradley University of Illinois, a private school that tutors some of the smartest students in the area. But as you'll soon see, Stephanie isn't one of their star pupils.
Were you leaving the bar? Were you coming this direction?
I was coming here.
Okay.
You know, I had just gotten my night started. So
Were you going this direction or this direction?
I was coming this direction.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna have you do. Let's get away from the scene a little bit. Let them do their thing. Okay, this is your car, right? The red car.
Yes.
You were the only one in the vehicle.
I'm the only one.
Okay, come over here to my spot car. Okay.
Yep.
Can you take your purse off and just set that on here? We got him. Yep. Do you have anything illegal on you?
Yes, I have marijuana
In
in
your purse. Okay. Have you had any marijuana tonight?
No.
Okay. Do you set those on the car for me for?
My vape too.
While she hadn't been smoking that night, the cop can already tell she'd definitely been drinking. Just how much will be discovered later. She's then taken to a patrol car and read her Miranda rights. But since she hadn't taken a sobriety test, she hadn't yet been arrested. The cop decides to question her about the evening while he tries.
This purse once belonged to a teenage girl, but she lost it 63 years ago at her elementary school outside Houston. All these many years later, the purse has been found by Armando Rodriguez, a contractor who was hired to renovate the school's gym.
I was shocked to find a purse in there.
He pulled it out of the floor.
I wanted to find the owners, and I just, it will be a wonderful feeling. That's what I thought.
The purse was handed over to Richard Lewis of the local historical society. Inside, he discovered photos and other mementos. When the lost purse made local news, emails started pouring in. Then, eureka!
I think we have the person you're looking for. This is the information she sent me that solved it.
Turns out the purse belonged to a 13-year-old girl, Andrea Beverly Williams. He pulled out old yearbooks, and there she was. Sadly, Beverly died in 2015, but she had 9 children, and 3 daughters still live nearby.
Oh, wow. Oh, this is so typical of my mom. The rhinestones?
They were amazed to see old photos of their mom's classmates and their grandfather.
I've never seen that before. He passed before I was born.
Yeah.
There were all sorts of notes.
This is to the Valentine's Day. It's a little invitation.
After 2 months, we are still in love.
A calendar gives a clue to when their mom lost it.
April of 59 is when it got lost because everything else is clean. Her
This is
manicure kit.
Manicure kit.
So she could stay posh.
Yeah.
1959 was the height of the Cold War, and their mom carried a civil defense card.
It's for nuclear war in case the Russians bombed us.
She actually kept it in her purse.
For daughters Deborah, Rhonda, and Andrea, it was like entering a time machine.
It's such an unintentional time capsule of her.
Let's talk about what happened to 13-year-old Rachel Mellon Skimp. She was born on October 13th of 1982 and lived in Melrose Park in Illinois. At the age of 3, her parents divorced and her dad moved to Dallas and her mom stayed with her in Illinois. Eventually, her mom started seeing a man named Vincent, and eventually they got married and had 2 children together. Rachel was described as a bubbly person with a great sense of humor. She was the life of the party and was always the most beautiful girl in the room. On January 30th of 1996, Rachel was at school and was having a normal school day, and as the day went on, her friends noticed that she was crying by her locker, so they went to go ask what was wrong. She said she was having a problem, but that she was going to fix it herself, and that is all she said. The following day, on Wednesday, January 31st, Rachel decided to stay home from school because she was having a sore throat and was feeling kind of sick. So her mom left to work and her stepfather was going to stay home because he wasn't working at the moment. Rachel called her grandma to thank her for the Christmas gifts that she had sent her, and this call took from 4 to 5 minutes, and her grandma said that this phone call was completely normal, nothing out of the ordinary, but she did notice that at one part in the phone call, Rachel was kind of quiet, and her grandma said, "Is he there?" referring to her stepfather, and she said yes, and then Rachel told her grandmother that she needed to hang up. Her stepfather stated that they played the Nintendo before she decided to go up to her room and take a nap. So once she was upstairs taking a nap, he decided to take the family dog for a walk, even though it was 20 degrees below zero. So he left at 2:30 p.m. and then ended up coming at 3 p.m. He said the reason that he took a while is because the dog broke free from the leash and he was not able to get him, so he just figured that the family dog would just find his way back eventually. At 3:15 p.m., Vincent's youngest daughter comes home and she goes straight to Rachel's room to greet her, and that's when she realizes that Rachel's not even there. So the youngest daughter tells her dad that it seems that Rachel is missing, that she's not even in her room, but he just doesn't seem to care. So once her mom gets home, the youngest daughter tells her that Rachel's missing from her room, so that is when her mom decides to call 911 and report her as missing. Stay tuned for part 2.
It's sorry. Oh, he's sorry. 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 He's sorry. He's sorry. He's sorry.
I've been getting tagged constantly in this video, so I'm here to explain the backstory to this whole thing. The man you see in this video is named Dennis Rader, aka the BTK Killer. He was born on March 9th, 1945 in Pittsburgh, Kansas. He is responsible for the murder of 10 people over the span of 3 decades before his arrest in 2005. Now, he was called the BTK Killer because he always left the code for the police, BTK, which meant bind, torture, and kill, which is something he would frequently do to his victims.
This fantasy, I started working out this fantasy in my mind, and once that person become a fantasy, I could just loop it over. I'd lay in bed at night thinking about this person, the events and how it's going to happen, and it became a real, almost like a picture show. You know, I wanted to go ahead and produce it, direct it, and go through with it, no matter what the costs were and the consequences. It was going to happen one way or another.
On January 14, 1974, he took his first victims, which included a family of 4, by strangling all of them. The family of 4 included 2 children, and in the crime scene, his SIDS were also found, but none of them showed signs of sexual activity.
What did you?
You worked pretty quick.
Well,
What
I mean,
did you
I
do?
strangled Mrs. Otero, and she went out. Then I strangled Josephine. She passed out. Then I went over and put a bag on Junior's head.
In the month of April the same year, he targeted a 21-year-old woman. He broke into her home and did exactly what his name meant. He binded her, tortured her, and killed her. The woman was then later found fatally stabbed. This kept happening for a while until he suddenly stopped in 2003. People either thought he was dead or he was already imprisoned. That caught Rader's attention, and he started sending evidence to the police that he was still going. In one case, he sent a cereal box filled with a victim's driver's license and pictures of her body. Get it? Because it's serial killer. In 2005, however, the police managed to grab a lead on him. He legit asked the police if it was safe to send a cassette tape so that they wouldn't be able to track him down. The police obviously said yes, it's safe to send it, even though it wasn't and they could track him down. He ended up sending the cassette in the cereal box to the police, and they ended up tracking him down with his DNA on the cassette player, matching the DNA that was left in the first scene with his SIDS. The police tracked him down to the church where he was president of the congregation. He was arrested on February 25th, 2005, and 2 months after, he was tried and found guilty and is now serving 10 consecutive life sentences. Today, he is 77 years old. Like and follow for more.